The show is brought to you by Elegant Homes. Let's kickstart the news this morning with some politics. And the governing New Patriotic Party says its parliamentary candidate for Techiman South, that is Martin Ajay Mensah-Korsah, won the polls with 477 votes. 2020 campaign manager Peter McMenu, who presented pink sheets from the 267 polling stations to back the party's figures, insisted collation was done at the constituency collation center. This contradicts the position of the opposition National Democratic Congress, which alleges that the returning officer failed to collate the results and yet declared the NPP's candidate as winner of the election.
For the avoidance of doubt, we present to you the results of Techiman parliamentary elections as per all pink sheets available to us. Martin Ajay Mensah-Korsah, NPP, 49,682. And I repeat, Martin Ajay Mensah-Korsah, NPP, 49,682. 2. Christopher Baire Basomguti, NDC, 49,205. Per all the pink sheets available to us, which are here displayed, our candidate, Martin Ajay Mensah-Korsah, was duly elected as MP for Techiman South for the next parliament, January 2021 to January 2025. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen of the press, it is important for us to expose the lies, deceit, propaganda, and political chicanery, shenanigans, and dishonesty of the NDC since the process towards the 2020 elections began. Yesterday, the minority in Parliament promised to display all 265 pink sheets from Techiman South. In the end, they subjected viewers to fabricated images of an Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheet, not collated sheet of the EC. I think media men and the public know the difference. Such gross deceit and incompetence. And according to them, the MPP candidate obtained 50,013 votes, while their candidate obtained 50,306 votes. So according to the NDC majority's juju figure, NDC won Techiman South with a difference of 293 votes. So ladies and gentlemen of the media, if we are to believe the NDC story that they won the Techiman South parliamentary elections, they won it with vote difference of 293, at a point 695, at a point 592, at a point 700, and then 825. Mind you, we are talking about an election in one constituency. In this singular constituency, the NDC won by 5 different margins. Ridiculous. They are so inept, lazy, and propaganda-driven to such an extent that they can't get basic computing right. Basically, they can't even tell a consistent lie.
McMenu also served notice that the NPP would challenge a number of parliamentary seats declared in favor of the NDC. Meanwhile, the NDC in the Northeast region is also accusing the Electoral Commission of manipulating the 2020 electoral results against the presidential candidate of the party. In a petition to the chairperson of the commission, the party said it would not accept what it maintained as flawed results for the presidential and some parliamentary elections. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko reports.
The party supporters, dressed in red and black attire, marched through the principal street of the regional capital, Nalirgu, singing and dancing while chanting out slogans on placards they wielded.
And Mensah has declared a flawed election, and we have always said that we will never accept a flawed election. When justice is done and peace prevails, John Dramani Mahama the president-elect of this Republic of Ghana shall reign, and democracy and development shall come back.
You know, you can see she has changed the results of about 6 consecutive times. You know, you don't change the results you've declared. So that is why we are telling her to come out and do the right thing. Otherwise, we're not going to rest. There won't be any peace in this country until His Excellency is the president of Ghana. That is all.
The protest, which started peacefully, nearly turned rough along the way after the security personnel attempted to stop the demonstrators from burning of tires on the road. The security personnel later withdrew, and the protesters burned copious tires, leaving parts of the regional capital covered in black billowing smoke. The protesters marched to the regional office of the Electoral Commission, where the leadership of the party presented a written petition to be delivered to the chairperson of the commission, Madam Jane Mensah. Regional Secretary Ibrahim Tia handed the petition to the officials.
The electoral office and submitting our petition through them to get to Jane Mensah and Bosman Asare, who have conducted the election so far poorly to the expectations of the masses of Ghanaians. And as such, if an electoral officer or the chairperson of the Electoral Commission should handle electoral matters in this manner, then he's thwarting the efforts of the democracy that we have toiled to safeguard right from 92 up to 2020. And I think that Jane Mensah and Bosman Asare should be listening carefully and go back and learn maths properly and come back and collate the presidential results and declare the results.
From the Commission's office, the protesters then converged at the party's office, where the leadership took turns to address the charged supporters. The regional chairman, Alassad Nantogma, repeated the concerns voiced by the secretary.
The NDC in the Northeast region hereby present the following concerns, grievances, and outrage about the conduct of the EC chair and the commission as a whole. 1. That the presidential results were manipulated by the commission against the NDC presidential candidate. 2. That the MPP presidential candidate never won the elections. 3. That the NDC shall not accept the flawed declared results for the presidential and some parliamentary elections.
Today we hear them calling for peace. I wish to remind Ghanaians that peace is an outcome, and some processes lead to peace. Yes. You cannot want peace when you don't design the processes that will ensure fairness in the electoral process. So for us to have peace in Ghana, everybody in Ghana who cares about the peace of Ghana, every moral voice in the society in Ghana must begin to talk about fairness first before peace.
Ilyas Sutanko reporting for Joy News.
In respect of the electoral challenges, however, the National Democratic Congress has only 1 week to present an election petition to the Supreme Court following their rejection of the 2020 results. According to the Constitution, an aggrieved party may present an electoral petition to the Supreme Court within 21 days after the declaration of the results. Kweku Asante has a wrap of all that has happened since the declaration of the results.
On the basis of the foregoing election results, by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana and the returning officer of the presidential election, it is my duty and honor to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, declaring President Akufo-Addo as validly elected president on 9 December. This was expected to bring to an end a tumultuous campaign period, but the NDC's rejection of the results ushered the country into a new phase of nationwide protests. The party's presidential candidate, John Mahama, described the election as flawed and the results fictitious.
When in 2016, at the end of my first full term as president, I ran for re-election as an incumbent candidate, I respected the will of the people. I conceded, I stepped aside, and I set in motion a peaceful transfer of power because I understood that it was the will of the people. And if we are to progress as a nation, if we are to live up to the inheritance of our history, one for which people have paid the ultimate price, the sacred verdict of the people must be respected. It must be protected. It has been my pledge throughout my time of service as a representative to the good people of Ghana to do exactly that. And that is why I stand before you tonight, unwilling to accept the fictionalized results of a flawed election.
Party leaders urged their supporters to express their rejection of the results by pouring onto the streets to protest.
No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace.
Over the last 2 weeks, NDC executives have led supporters across the country from Sefi, Takwa, Kumasi, Tamale, and Accra to demonstrate against the results. The protests have been characterized by burning of ties and, in some instances, confrontation with the police, who accuse the NDC of breaching the Public Order Act. But the party's action have been criticized by several civil society organizations, including IDEC, which have urged the NDC to present their evidence of fraud and rigging to the courts and Electoral Commission for redress.
As we have stated before, carrying out demonstrations and going to court are not mutually exclusive nor contradictory. Legal recourse may be pursued even as peaceful demonstrations are carried out. Therefore, we join the voices of the sections of the public to urge the NDC to present their concerns to the courts for legal redress.
The latest protest was that of the NDC lawmakers who yesterday besieged the EC premises in a botched attempt to present a petition to the EC on the disputed Techiman South parliamentary election, which has been declared for the NPP. The minority have since held what they describe as a public collation of the Techiman South election, which they say shows their candidate won. The EC has since indicated it will begin an almost 1 month recess starting today, Wednesday, 23rd December to 19 January 2020. But on the substantive presidential election results the NDC have rejected, the party has only a week to present an election petition to the Supreme Court challenging the validity of the election result.
Well, it's less than 2 weeks to D-Day when the 8th Parliament elects a new Speaker, and Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu is advocating a politically neutral person to fill the position. A number of names from the MPP side have come up, including Justice Jones Doche, Papa Owusu Ankoma, Freddie Blay, incumbent Professor Mike Okwe, and lawyer Aikwe Otu. On the NDC side, Edward Duajaho and Alban Bagmin are some of the names that have come up. Mr. Iddrisu says the next Speaker must be able to unite the House.
As Speaker of Parliament, you would need somebody who is above reproach, above partisanship, familiar with the rules, have an unparalleled commitment to the good of Ghana and to the service of Ghana, and will hold the two sides together to serve the good of Ghana and not serve any parochial, narrow partisan interest. That is what we should look for in who the Speaker would be, and one who would build Parliament as a responsive, transparent, accountable institution of state that will allow us to hold ministers, chief executive, and other appointees accountable to the people of Ghana in the name of respecting the sovereign will of the Ghanaian people.
Does Michael Okwe fit that description from your perspective, Reverend Professor Michael Okwe? At least after working with him over the last 4 years.
I wouldn't make a determination of that. Professor Michael Okwe has his positive. He's contributed immensely into rebuilding and improving the parliamentary service. You can't take away that from him. But politically neutral is difficult to judge him and many other speakers. So you want a speaker for this purpose of 8th Parliament who is politically neutral and above partisanship.
Let's talk Christmas now. And goat sellers at the Techiman Central Market say they are recording low sales ahead of the Christmas season compared to the same period last year. These traders are attributing the low sales to the high exchange rate of the CFA, as these animals are brought into the country from neighboring countries. Correspondent Anas Sabit has been engaging some of these sellers and filed the following report.
Christmas is here at last, and we are here at the Techiman Sheep and Goat Market. We want to engage the sellers here on how their sales has been compared to the same period last year. We want to find out whether the buyers are coming in their numbers or whether it is the opposite, and if they are able to buy as expected. Let's get interactive with the sellers here.
This Christmas is one of the worst. We do not know if it is the elections or the higher exchange rates, so things are really bad here.
Gaskiya shekaran gadi kasuwan nan dubara ne. Abin da yasa nake dubara ne.
We are recording low sales here. It may be as a result of the elections. We don't know if there will be improvement going forward, but this year things are really bad.
Ba mu san zuwa gaba ba dai, amma yanzu hakan ganga kasuwan nan bai da kyau.
We are facing difficulties because there are no buyers here. For the past 2 days, this is what we are experiencing. We go for the animals, but no buyers.
A number of them attribute their low sales to the high exchange rate of the CFA, as these animals are being imported from neighboring countries such as Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and Togo. So the high exchange rate, according to the people here, is affecting their sales this festive season.
I feel we the Yamianim market na confirm. The entire man confirm this say.
We are recording low sales this year because of the exchange rate. We bring these animals from the neighboring countries, and the exchange rate has been high, and that's affecting our sales.
Kasuwan da mun ce ba kaman wancan shekara ba. Domin shekaran gan ka duba.
Comparing this year to last year, the market has been bad because of the rate of the CFA. The buyers are not coming through.
While some attribute the low sales to the exchange rate, others are of the view that this particular Christmas coming after the elections could be also another contributing factor to the low sales of their animals.
For me, I believe the elections is the cause of our low sales.
They, however, have some suggestions to authorities. They call on governments to come to their aid by working on controlling the exchange rate of the CFA in order to stabilize the Ghana cedi, and that, according to them, will increase their sales going forward.
Yeah, that's what I said. CFA no na esrese na be ya ebe reduce aba from my ombet yeah send ombe ya be ma CFA na ho de na
aba. Call on authorities to work on improving the local currency. Once it gains strength against the CFA, we will make profit after sales.
Ukoba unya hwe nti esre omo se omo hwe CFA na ma entimi temra from my
gaskiya nda mun samu dai sun taimake mu CFA yazo kasa dai da muna so.
We wish they could help boost the strength of the Ghana cedi against the CFA. If that is done, things may improve here too.
So from the sheep and goat market here at the Techiman Central Market, my name is Anas Sabit, reporting for Joy News.
Well, it's a wrap on the AM News for another morning, and the entire show, mind you, is brought to you by Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, which is a wholly owned Ghanaian company with over 15 years experience. Our affiliate company, Elegant Home Products Limited, fabricates and sells high-quality UPVC windows and doors, profiles from Turkey, plasterboards, cornices, gypsum adhesives, and accessories. We have luxury residential properties in prime areas, for example, East Legon, and we also construct properties in other parts of Ghana. Elegant Homes is now selling 3, 4, 5-bedroom executive detached houses at its gated community called Elegant Courts, that's in Katamanso off the Adenta Dodowa Road in Accra. The project has solar street lights, underground sewer systems, 24/7 security, tarred roads, constant flow of water, estate management services, and a recreational area with a tennis court, playground, swimming pool, and mini shops. Clients have the option of choosing from our wide range of architectural designs and have it modified for them. You can also request for tailor-made services where we build to suit your individual taste. Our houses are built to the highest standards, and we ensure that the finest of materials are used to give you excellence, luxury, beauty, and value for your money. Our properties can be located in East Legon and Elegant Courts at Katamanso. Call us on 0244 699 053. You can also reach us on 0248 974 428. Finally, 0576 597 419. You can check out our website or email us at eleganthomesgh.com or sales@eleganthomesgh.com. Locate us at our site office at Katamanso, that is Elegant Courts. So Elegant Homes helping us bring you this show, the AM Show. Up next on the show, the newspaper review. Do stay. Well, we're back on the AM Show, and this morning I am bringing you the news review with a senior colleague. Let me put it that way. Araba Kumsin. A very good morning to you. We don't often see you at this time of morning. So
No, I just decided to surprise you and your viewers. You know, that's my Christmas surprise for you.
Surprise, surprise. So Bronya has started early. Araba, thank you so much for joining us. So let's check out another thing. You know, right before we dig into the papers, I've noticed that the papers are losing weight. They are on a diet.
Of course, around this time, there's very little news. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's expected.
So let's check out what headlines you have there, since there are only 4 papers we're reviewing this morning, and I'll take mine.
And Benjamin, have you noticed, I don't know if our viewers can see it, but a lot of the papers have a lot of red in them. I don't know, it's significant of
Christmas.
Symbolic of the season. So I have the Mirror with me, and I have the Daily Dispatch with me. So on the front page of the Mirror, it reads, "Cohesion, love must prevail at all times." And that's attributed to Professor Kofi Ejekum. Also, "Let's embrace peace." That's a call from the clergy. And we have a beautiful picture of Franklina Smith, a banker, model, and entrepreneur, as she gears up for Christmas. That's for the Mirror.
That's a beauty right there.
Right.
I said it. So I'll start from the end of the Daily Graphic, and it says, so Akufo-Addo to swear second term oath in Parliament. And recently there's been a lot of talk about this, about what the Constitution says, about how apt it would be, especially as we are battling COVID-19 and all of that. Usually we go to the Black Star Square and do it, but this time round, it's going to be different. Let's see what happens moving forward. Uphold peace, unity at Christmas. Christian leaders admonish Ghanaians. I found this interesting story that I'll be delving into. Reducing number of ministers, a grounded hope. Reducing number of ministers, a grounded hope. And yesterday I had a discussion with Lucy Enin, who actually was in the first parliament of the First Republic.
Yes.
She's 82.
Right.
She served under Nkrumah representing the Brong-Ahafo region. And back then, I mean, the representation was wider for each person. So she was representing the entirety of the Brong-Ahafo region. An interesting, discussion I had with her. One of the things she mentioned, she doesn't feel we need all of these ministers. So
I think that's something that's dear to Ghanaians. A lot of people have questioned why the government ought to have more than 100 ministers. I mean, it comes at a cost to the state. So obviously people are worried about that. And just recently, I believe when the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, interview with Joseph Opoku-Kapo, our parliamentary correspondent, he also made the same point. And he was actually giving them an ultimatum that any government which is sworn into power next year should have no more than 70, I believe.
I recall he may have said 80.
Okay, 80.
I think that's his magic number.
Yeah. So really, I mean, I hope that the government will listen to the calls. And what else do you have?
Well, in the middle spread, it says copies of 2020 transitional handing over notes presented to Chief Justice. Government places ban on contractual agreements and appointments. On the back page, Al Hilal Stan Kotoko in Accra. That's in sports. And, you know, these two have a history, Al Hilal and Kotoko. Well, this time around, it was, you know, the Al Hilal team that was on top. So that's it for the major stories in the Daily Graphic.
Okay, all right. So let me go back to the Mirror because I only talked about the front page stories. But when you go inside, page 2, there's a story that says, a political party's paraphernalia nuisance after election. So obviously, I mean, you see a lot of these paraphernalia pasted around a lot of the, you know, state institutions, which is very worrying. You know, there must be some sort of plan to remove all of these afterwards because it really doesn't make the town look beautiful.
It disfigures it. After every election, our cities and towns are left disfigured in a way. You know, we're trying to make Accra, for example, clean, but just you go around. And do you know what's even worse?
No.
I saw some videos and photos, I think even close to our workplace. The electric cables themselves, the one on the streets, some people managed to hang their parties, you know, banners and flyers and what's not on them.
There should be a plan going forward. Right after the election, the Metropolitan Assembly should put in a plan to ensure that all these posters and flyers are removed because really it is a nuisance.
What do you think of this? Anywhere we find an NPP or NDC flyer or whatever, how about we hold the parties responsible?
Definitely.
I think if moving forward we did that after every election, ensure that all your posters, those that belong to your party, are removed.
I think it should
your people posted them, right?
It should come with a sanction so that they are forced to ensure that their posters are removed.
Right.
All right. Also in the Mirror, the middle pages, Jude Hammer marks 40 years in the Lord's ministry. And Jude Hammer, let me get some details about him. He is being celebrated here in the graphic. In the Mirror, I beg your pardon. He is a man of God, and I think he's someone who has been very instrumental in the Lord's business. So he's been celebrated for, 40 years in the Lord's ministry. And there's a whole lot you can read about him in the middle pages of the Mirror.
And mentioning the Hammer name, I'm sorry to say this, but in recent times, the Hammers were at it.
Yes.
Lord Hammer and his sister, and it wasn't pleasant. I don't want to get into what they were
back and forth
discussing
on interesting.
I don't know whether it was on Facebook, but for me, it was
on
just
Twitter. It was on Twitter. It was a Twitter fight between brother and sister, but it was interesting the way it was going. But I guess at a point in time, they were told to restrain themselves.
I think that was in totally poor taste.
Exactly.
Some of the things that were said, no. In a way, it reminded me also about Samia and her brother and how they get at each other's throats sometimes.
I guess you could call it sibling rivalry.
Yep.
Yes, okay. Still in the Mirror, also in the middle pages, Accra, Comerica lights up for Christmas.
Comerica.
This is wonderful. And every year, Jandel, in collaboration with the Metropolitan authorities, embark on this project to light up the major cities. So this year it's Accra and Kumasi, or Comerica, and it's so beautiful. If you take,
I think we should take a look at the middle spread of the Mirror newspaper. Let me do this.
Okay.
And beautiful. Just take a look at these shots and the the colors and everything. Just take a look. The excitement. Accra, Comerica light up for Christmas. Great. So very interesting. I would love to be here. Look at this car.
Yes. I wonder how they were able to light up the car, a whole car. But it's beautiful. So the whole point is that, families can go to these places and then take pictures, in celebration of the season. So, yeah.
This actually reminds me of Christmas in Manhattan.
Manhattan?
Yes.
In the U.S.?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Places where, you would have, beautiful. And I love the fact that we're doing this as Christmas.
Yeah.
Especially on the back of the elections and all the anxiety, tension people have felt. I think this will, ease people's minds.
Definitely.
Any more you're doing from the Mirror?
Okay, let me just do this because it's Christmas, Christmas Eve today. There's a lifestyle section in the Mirror talking about the Christmas hamper. I'm sure that a lot of you are a bit curious to know what you should put in a hamper to give as gifts to people.
I want to hear about that one.
People don't.
What do you put in a hamper?
Exactly. People don't know what to give to people sometimes, because what do you give to people? Clothes, shoes, perfume. If you've given them the same things over the years, you might want to change your mind and all of that. So the Mirror, page 13, lifestyle section, has some tips on what to put in your hamper to give as gifts to your loved ones and friends.
Okay. So let's do this, but this was just a bit of a recap of the Mirror newspaper. You want to do, or is that the second one?
Okay. So
that is the first. So let's do the headlines from the Daily Dispatch.
The Daily Dispatch, right. So the Daily Dispatch, major headlines. How will the winner impact their chances? NPP's 2024 flag bearership. So it's looking into the future. Already people have started dropping some names. You know, Benefson
started doing this quite a while ago, so not surprising.
Right. And of course, some names have dropped. And on the front page of the Dispatch, you have a picture of Mr. Alan Chirmanting, who's Trades Minister, who obviously contested Nana Akufo-Addo.
He's contested twice, right?
Twice, yes. You have Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Vice President. You have Mr. Kennedy Ejipong, Asin Central MP, and Joe Gatti, who is the Railways Minister as well. So all of these names have come up. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out in the few years, next year or so, when they really start jostling.
Right. And, you know, in terms of what Benefson put out there in his recent book, he says when you consider popularity in itself, you would have the Kennedy Ejapons, the Joe Gattis, and others in there, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. But per his, survey at their last Congress in 2018, if you consider whom they would actually vote for, when they consider the lives of Kennedy Ejapon, they say there's too much going on about him. So while he's very popular...
There's too much going on about him. Exactly.
And so many things. They are afraid that such a candidate...
He doesn't sound presidential. Let's call a spade a spade.
Okay, not a big
MP. And even with his utterances, people have had cause to criticize him for the way he speaks, especially because he's a legislator. He ought to know better in the way he speaks. So a lot of people have criticized him for that. So based on that, many don't think that he's the right fit for the presidency. The presidency is not just about popularity. It's also about how you carry yourself.
True.
And clearly he doesn't.
So per his research, when it comes to who would carry the day, good old Alan Cash is in pole position, even over the vice president, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
And
that is why it's... Oh, well, it's basically because, well, there are certain characteristics that those people were looking at. There are a number of them, I can't mention all of them, but based on those, they felt he would get the nod. And that would be reminiscent of what we saw, was it in 2004 or 8, with the former vice president, Aliu Mahama.
Yeah.
You get it. When he also went and placed a distant third. In fact, if you look at the numbers. So it's interesting, but we wait to see.
We wait to see that come into play. So we'll see how it pans out. But also on the front page of the Daily Dispatch, we have police ban NDC from further protests in Greater Accra till January 10, 2021. Clearly, I mean, this will be after the inauguration. So, but we spoke to the NDC yesterday on Joy 99.7 FM radio, and they made the point that they will contest this and continue their protest, their street protest, to, protest as part of their rejection of the outcome of the 2020 polls.
But I find that interesting, though, because per our constitution, we have the right to demonstrate.
Right.
Demonstrate. I mean, yesterday when Roxanne Dafia-Makpo was here, South-Dine MP, he was saying that even what they are doing is a walk. I was trying to pin him down. What is the difference between a walk and a demonstration? But even if it were a demonstration, the Constitution guarantees it. So
yeah.
I think if it doesn't lead to violence...
But I've heard the Peace Council and I think the National House of Chiefs make the point that the numerous demonstrations are heightening tension, that the NDC should rather resort to the courts.
To some extent, I agree with that.
Yes, exactly.
To some extent, I agree with that.
Even though they have a right to demonstrate, I guess around this time, everybody's tired. People just want to relax and enjoy the holidays. So perhaps they should, pull the brakes on that and then return after, the Christmas season.
Right. So So let me take a look now at the Daily Searchlight. What are they searching for? What have they found? Akufo-Addo will be sworn in at Parliament. Deputy Minister for Information, Pius Hajide, saying that Mahama not declared president-elect disregard false video. That's according to the EC. Now, I'll just do that one because it's a brief one. The Electoral Commission has denied ever declaring former President John Dramani Mahama as the president-elect of Ghana after the polls. A video circulating on social media suggested that the commission had declared John Dramani Mahama as Ghana's president-elect, but in a statement from the Electoral Commission, they described the video as doctored and not a true reflection of what was declared. Have you stumbled on this video?
I haven't seen the video.
I haven't either, but it's an interesting development. Looming by-election as NDC MP-elect is fingered in dual citizenship blues. And this was going on even before the election. There's also this one, Acey's Corner. And I don't know who might need to hear this, but how your sex life changes after 60. Obviously, I have a long way to go on that one. Long way to go.
I'm sure a lot of people are interested. So how does your sex life change after 60?
You want to know?
Obviously, you're not as virile as in your 20s and 30s and maybe even 40s. But, well, I guess, or is it too early to have this conversation?
You know, so there's in the papers yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? There's a man who died in Koforidua.
Yes.
And he was doing the do. And he was, I think, over 60. Okay. And he was engaging in, you know,
with a
25-year-old.
Yeah.
I said there was a mismatch there. I think it was too much of a, you know. But if you are 60 plus, take it easy.
I saw a line on, was it Twitter or Facebook? Someone had written, he died in the line of duty.
Oh, that's a good one.
He died in the line of duty. So, yeah. But you didn't give us
anyway,
tips.
so
I'm sure a lot of people
it
are
says
waiting.
One of the myths of aging is that a satisfying and enjoyable sex life after 60 is impossible. Don't be fooled and don't be disheartened. As with most myths, this is one that has long since been disproved. I don't want you to get all the filler and not buy the paper, but the first bit says, the truth is many people enjoy a healthy sex life well into their golden years. Let me just leave it there. It means your golden years after 50, 60, you can still have a healthy sex life. But I think one thing it hinges on is also the bit about treating your body well,
right,
so that as you age, your body can sustain itself in such.
Comes in.
Exactly. Your heart. If your heart is not strong enough,
exactly.
Don't push it.
Exactly. But others, you know, choose the other route. They use Viagra and other, you know, means to get to that particular end.
And so I think that is it for the Daily Searchlight. Let's do something from the Dispatch.
So also on the back page of the Dispatch, we have state sues 11 NDC MPs for illegal march to the EC offices. And as you know, on Wednesday, the NDC MPs marched to the EC's offices at Ridge. They were prevented by the police from entering the premises. And some of them even, you know, went into a scuffle, had a scuffle with
I heard something, shoot us,
police.
shoot us. You know, there was this bit where, and I was thinking, why would you want to say that? Because if that happens, then there would be...
Right. So the state, it reads, the state represented by the Ghana Police Service has dragged Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu and 10 other opposition MPs to court for embarking on a march to the EC office. The other 10 are Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, Samuel George, John Abdullahi Jinapo, Roxanne Nelson, Dafia Mepo, Ras Mubarak, Mutawakilu Adam, Ebenezer Oklete Telabi, and Dr. Kwabena Donko, as well as Bashir Al-Hassan Husseini and Kwabena Minta Akando.
Araba, what are the charges? There are two things I'm concerned about. What are the real charges? And look, will this end up anywhere?
Well, let me see whether the charges were included. Well, no, they didn't include the charges. But I suppose because they said it's an illegal march, basically they didn't notify the police.
The NDC says it's Roxanne yesterday said they notified, you know, Parliament has its own police.
Right.
They notified the divisional police. They wrote a letter to the EC.
Well,
what more are you looking for?
At
least from this angle.
All right, okay. We need to go to myjoyonline.com now.
Right. So let's quickly do My Joy Online. Well, we'll have to do that at some other time. But it's time now for Sports on the AM show. Araba, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
joining us.
I'm still staying here with you. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes, at least seeing you is refreshing, and your yellow is dashing.
Yes.
The sports is up next on the AM show. Do stay with us.
It's Christmas Eve here on Joy News. Hi, I'm Gary Al Smith, and this is the sport. Ahead of the Christmas, we expect joy and cheer, but not for Asante Kotoko supporters who have bemoaned the poor state of the team following a drop performance that saw the team lose 1-0 to Al Hilal in a CAF Champions League first leg game at the Accra Sports Stadium. Mr. Nabila Abdullahi was there and spoke to some of the fans.
A drop performance by the team saw the Porcupines suffer a 1-0 loss in the first leg of the CAF Champions League game against Al Hilal at the Accra Sports Stadium. Many supporters who witnessed the performance of the team decried the poor state of the club.
I don't think we can do anything better apart from what we saw today. There's nothing we can do. So the only thing we have to do is we should just decide that we are not going to play the second match again. Then we'll prepare ourselves for this. Very, very disappointed in the players and the coach. Because you can't sack a coach and leave an assistant coach who only do the photocopy of the first coach. Because the selection the first coach was using, he brought the same selection.
Results in the year, my 100% disappointed. 100% my disappointed. Because over game Kotoko, boya compared to last 2 years. Ushe team na o de compare na meka say Kotoko ye ni team ba kokra
to say I'm disappointed is an understatement. I'll be belaboring the point if I say I'm disappointed. This is the worst ever Kotoko performance I've seen, and I have been watching Kotoko since age 6 or 7. This is the worst performance I've ever seen from Kotoko. I mean, no link-up play, no creativity in midfield. Attack is virtually non-existent. I mean, this was not even against the best of Al Hilal sides we've even.
Asante Kotoko would travel to Takwa to face Midiama SC in their next game in the Ghana Premier League. Many supporters believe the current crop of players are not good enough to be part of the team.
Moving on, and former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association has advised the management of the club to recall sacked head coach Maxwell Knedu.
Maxwell was sacked by the management of Kotoko following the Porcupines' 1-0 loss to Great Olympics on December 17. Former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, George Efrie, feels Maxwell is a very good coach and should not have had his contract terminated after losing just one match.
It brought some life into Kotoko. I was only disappointed when they sacked Maxwell Knedu. Honestly, I mean, I will speak as I feel. I'm not involved. I don't know what is going on in the club. As somebody sitting back and looking at it, I think that that's only my disappointment. Maxwell Knedu is a very good coach. I've worked with him before. He's a very good coach. And Muftao, how many matches? 4?
Yeah, he has played 4.
Oh, no. Even my Arsenal self, we believe we will bounce back. My Arsenal self, we believe we will bounce back.
So you think it was too early?
No, Maxwell is a very good coach. He's a huge, I mean, you see, if you take the old coaches, the Sapons, the Bashir Hayford, who else? Those old ones. Daouda Lutrod. If you take them out, the new face, the young ones coming, the Salas crowd will put him because Salas is old. He's not too young like that. So if you take them out, the new face of our coaching is the Maxwell Knedu's, the Tanko Ibrahim, the CK Akonos. Those are the ones we have now. My own coach, Emmanuel Bule. Let me add my coach to it. He's a very good coach. So, you see, these young ones, Coach Emisa, or formerly of us, Elmina Shaks, they are all young, Nana and Sinasima. There are some young up-and-coming coaches in the system that, for me, I think even Dream's own, Domon, good, fantastic young man. So I'm saying that Maswa is a very, very good coach. So I don't know what actually necessitated the sack. I'm not in Kotoko, so I will not be privy to the information. But personally, if you ask me, Maswa Kunadu is a good coach. If Kotoko can still recall him, they should recall him back.
Mr. Afriye also had reservations about the decision of Kotoko to participate in the CAF Interclub competition this season.
Well, Nanayao made a case for it. So let's respect that. He made a case for it. Let's respect that. We don't need to have a counter. He's the CEO. He made a case for it. Let's respect it.
The current crop of Kotoko group of players, you think they can make it in Africa?
I have my reservation on some players, but I won't mention the names.
Kotoko suffered a 1-0 loss to Al Hilal at the Accra Sports Stadium on Wednesday.
Welcome back on the AM show. Bibibo Brunya. It's almost here. It only is tomorrow. And of course, revelers have been traveling to parts of Ghana for the festivities. We bring you a live report from the VIP and Neoplan Transport yards. Don't you forget the show brought to you by Elegant Homes. Let's connect now with my colleague Kwekwa Asante, who'll be bringing us up to beat on that. Kwekwa Asante, if you can hear me, take it from here. So we're getting the feed. We shall get the feed from Kwekwa Asante, who is live, and he's going to be reporting from VIP and Neoplan Transport Yards.
I'm live here at the Neoplan station here in Accra. Today is 24th of December, and for those who are aware of what 24th December signals, this is a day when more people travel from the capital, the Greater Accra region, and travel to other parts of the country, to their families, to their friends, to celebrate the Yuletide. And of course, we might know of this song, Obi in Kase, 24 of Ukurum. So 24th December, there's a lot of people here at the Neoplan station, more people traveling to various parts of the country, Techiman, Yeji, Kumase, wherever place you want to go here in Ghana, there are vehicles to take you from the Neoplan station. I have one of the drivers here at the Neoplan station. Yes, station master. I have the station master actually to speak to us and give us an idea how business is going, how many people have been traveling, and where they've been going. Master Mbache Frozen.
From Kabana Esumai.
Kabana Esumai. On a station master.
I'm station.
And the 24th, I'm on for Komu Krum Nehoniama. How do you see what is going on here? And then the aircon, who is it?
The aircon is a 50 because of election in Tino. More now, more than the amber. It's almost a registration. I'm no car. I feel no more. Starting from Tuesday, and the goose will be a maybe point down a part. And will be so about to us on Masamba and Nanopa. It will be added than a Quemboko and Yegidi because said here first Yegidi Nana coffee ni bread bano. God of lessons, I might be Biano, a Koboko, the Mao mine.
Yeah, because of Krami Shaha. So compare a fear and then Fabian Chuman, but this time higher Gidi Butupa. Because of elections, I'm on for Koe. Okay, there's this angle about road safety. I'm for say do Bronya time say now man for Komu Kroma, a Quenchian de Kikon. When I station manager, drivers I were around among home, how can at the same some passengers, be able to the chrome as Unjemu Jojo.
Ayo, Miss Madame, I say, was many Japan to the sense, answer a middle driver be a sick of the money piano. Minyanto was yet church and said, oh, you're ma, a woman, a wobushia with you. Maybe a now bushy and be a mua, now in the mono. It is also a driver rough, not a Bibu Kwame, and what I was sick, move. Now, I fast some bench, oh, general, now you a bush, now you in the Panzo day, a car in the Monuso, now you know Monsua account.
Right, Medasi, station manager, Medasi. So, we just spoke to the station master here at the Neoplan station. But of course, the real people, the real deal.
the number of people who are going to their communities, to their hometowns to celebrate this Christmas. More people have bought their car already, but you can see a number of people here at the New Plant Station whose car to their location has not arrived yet. So let me speak to some of them and have an idea. Then I goes, Mommy, Pacho, everyone saying.
Hello, good morning. I'm Vida.
Vida?
Yeah.
Pacho, who going?
Me call Wenchi Badu. Wenchi Badu.
Afishapa.
Afin committee. After that is meeting.
Yeah. The Christmas, so far, how are you seeing it?
In fact, I'm not going home because of Christmas. I'm going home because it has been a very long time I've visited home. And I think the nature of my work, always when it is Christmas, there is a lot to do. And we don't celebrate Christmas. If I'm saying we, I mean the security services. Because my background is coming from there. In fact, I had a little chance to visit home. That's why I'm going. I'm not going purposely because of the Christmas celebration. I'm going because it is, yes, please, I want to visit the family. And this is the time due mean I have to leave.
Right. So you're going with the kids?
Yes, please.
Right. So I know they've spent most of their time here in Accra, and now they are going back to meet the extended family and all that. What have been their reaction?
In fact, it has been a very great reaction. Why? Today is the first time of them visiting home. During Christmas. We don't go that way. We don't go during Christmas. We've been celebrating our Christmas for all these years here. So now that we are going home, there is joy to see the family. Thank you.
Yeah. What's your name?
I'm called Gertrude Apia.
Please. So your mom just tells me that this will be your first time you are going to your hometown. How excited are you to be going there to see your grandmom, your extended family?
I'm so excited to meet them because I've missed them very much.
You've missed them?
Please, yes.
Okay. So what class are you?
Please, I'm in class 6.
Class 6.
Please,
okay.
yes.
All the best, okay? All the best. Right. So let's speak to more people here at the New Plant Station. We just spoke to this woman, a security service personnel. So let's speak to more people and see what's going on. Boss, please, what's your name?
My name is Charles Rashid.
Yeah.
So
24th, where are you going?
Everything cool, everything is nice, everything cool, yeah.
So where are you going?
I'm going to Tiawadom.
Tiawadom?
Yeah.
So if you Tiawadom, the capital town is Gine. So you're going there?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, what does Christmas, what does it mean to you?
Oh, I just feeling good, I just feeling fine, everything right. So, you know, I'm feeling okay.
Feeling okay? Yeah. Right. So, do you live and work here in Accra?
Yeah, I Taifa.
Okay. So, this is the time to go back and see your extended family and other people?
Yeah.
Right. So, if you Tiawadom, the capital town, yeah, that's where he's from. And he's going there to see the family and also to celebrate the Christmas. Let me speak to this family, or let me speak to this gentleman. Boss, please, what's your name?
I'm Seth.
Seth?
Yeah.
Okay, you're live on Joy News. Okay. Where are you going?
I'm going to Techiman.
Techiman?
Yes.
Right. So, Charlie, Techiman has become like a very hot thing in the news right now. Yeah. You probably heard about Techiman South and all the things that's going on. Are you going anywhere around that area?
Oh, but then Techiman is my hometown, so I think everything is cool.
Right. So, what does Christmas mean to you?
Oh, yes, and I think we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. So I decided to go back and visit my family as well. So that's why I'm going back.
Right. So do you work or school here in Accra?
Oh, I work here. Yes.
All right. So this gentleman here is going to Techiman. And Techiman, we've all known this past few days, very heavy in the news, Techiman South and other things that happen. But let me speak to someone else and see what's up with them. Boss, please, what's your name?
I'm Alexander.
Okay, Alex?
Yes.
Alex, where are you going?
I'm going to Techiman.
Techiman?
Yes.
Right. A lot of people are going to Techiman. What does Christmas mean to you?
Oh, Christmas is a nice program that I'm going to celebrate. Yes.
So your family and other people are in Techiman?
Yes, they are in Techiman.
And you work here in Accra?
Yes, I work in Accra.
Right. So how much have you been looking forward to this period to be able to go to your hometown and then celebrate Christmas with them?
Oh, I started preparing about 3 months ago. Yes, because it has been a long time that has been there. So
Yes, I have to go and visit my parents and see them till I come back again. Yes.
Right, all the best. And when you go, send greetings to them. Let me speak to this gentleman before we enter some of the buses. Boss, you won't speak? All right, so this guy is not speaking here, but the euphoria is here. The people are ready to celebrate the Christmas, and the Techiman bus is not in yet. So you can see a lot of people queued up here, waiting for the bus to come in, and then they would go. But let's go to some of the vehicles and speak to the people, because this is 24th, and most people, as it were, are going home to celebrate the Christmas with their families and other things. So let me get closer to some of the buses and speak to the people who are already in the bus. Hello, boss. Good evening. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So this gentleman is not speaking, but let me find out where this bus is going. Hello. Good morning. Boss. Pacho. 24th.
Pacho, me call Kumasi. Pacho.
For how long have you been looking forward to go to Kumasi and go and celebrate Christmas with your family?
So, 4 hours.
When you say we go for Christmas, in Pacho. So this vehicle is going to Kumasi. The people are quite pumped up about going to celebrate the Yuletide with their family. So let me go to another bus. I can see here Takra, the Cape Coast, Mankasim. Let me speak to some of the people who are leaving. So, hello, boss. Good morning. Pacho, we go stand if you join us. We go stand to join us. Yeah. Pacho, na old driver Kayana. Okay, but the person may be 1 or 2 questions. You're live on TV. Now, bro, you share business here, Koso. How are things going?
I feel with the who say last year, no, because about one Dalian Tinama, you see, no Mushada and Papa Bia. About this time in Christmas in Kabun, and Nema Koso, and the Pau come, but and I'm Dalian about one year and send some organ and Tino. I don't know who be and Tia Befansa.
Now, one gets over out here, over now.
If I told me, media Kutuku, Ajin Kutuku, yeah.
All right. So let me go into the Takra, the Cape Coast Mankasim vehicle. Let me speak to this woman here. Hello, madam. This is Joy News. You are live on TV. What's your name and where are you going?
My name is Abigail Amankwa. I'm going to Apam.
Okay, so are you going home because of Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, so what would you say Christmas means to you? So, for how long have you been looking forward to be able to go home and celebrate the holidays with your family?
Because
you can
said I share so ama afena betu yen no eni ntina mbese me kona me ne mabusuafo yeni ekwaji yeni kakra
ene afishapa ekwansunso jojo. All right, so this Mankasim vehicle, Takra, the Cape Coast and Mankasim vehicle will probably be taking off very soon because the bus is getting almost full. But we'll try and speak to more people here at the Neoplan station. It's 24th, the place is quite busy, but of course the drivers have been telling me that it's not as busy as in previous years where this place would have been choked, this place would have been packed with a number of people traveling to various destinations to celebrate the Christmas period. But I mean, you could still see a sizable amount of people who are traveling to various places. But this is the Nkoko bus, and I'm from the eastern region. So let me check out this Nkoko squad and let me see where they are going. Hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Boss, what's your best join news? Okay. What's your join news? What's your Nkoko?
Dabi.
O think Hana we adwuma na be.
Ametakra.
Nti bronye you be celebrating on Nkoko na we saba akra.
E kwa samba.
O kwa samba. Okay. Any o kwa echi obia. Mommy. What's your between workers akra join news. You are live on TV. Ah. 24th Christmas. More celebrations. No BBNC here, but 24th. Obia Kofi, we are going to celebrate. So I want to know
Who share him say no obusia for be celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, share him say feed there. E be see ye. Na yenim say adum no na nkwa na aba ne nti no onyame nti bibia be ye boko na celebrity ni ye.
Nkoko na oku.
Mpacho ya me konkoko.
So this vehicle is bound to Nkoko, and a number of people, and some of them, this woman that I just spoke to, quite pumped up about the idea that she gets to go home and celebrate the Christmas with her family. But you can see a number of high-powered buses around. Some of them have not been filled up yet, and it gives credence to what some of these drivers have been telling us, that this Christmas is a little bit dry. Of course, not as dry as some would have thought, but some of them also have been attributing this to the idea that during the election period, most people went home to vote, only not to return, at least within this period. And so, yeah, so we'll be wrapping up quite shortly here at the New Plant Station. But a number of people that I was speaking with, they are pumped up about the idea that they get to be able to go home to celebrate their family. How well to end this with this very popular song, 24th. Obi in Cassette, 24th, Ko Ukuro. So, Benjamin, you can take it over, but people here really ready and willing to go back to their homes and celebrate the Christmas. I don't know where you will be going, whether you'll be celebrating here in Christmas or you're going to get some abobitadi in the Volta region. Benjamin.
Thank you for staying with us. Hope you enjoyed that number from Ketri Kwame Apia. Obi in Cassette, 24th, Ko Ukuro. So where are you going this Christmas? Well, wherever you are, just stay safe. The show is brought to you by Elegant Homes, and on this next leg of the show, we talk about resolving electoral disputes, ending the many disputes about parliamentary results. It's a conversation on what the Constitution says after results have been gazetted. Is there any way forward in such a situation? We're going to be particularly paying attention to Techiman South and the Hohoi situation. And lawyer Martin Kwebu joins us. We'll also be having Bernard Oredu, who will be joining us. Lawyer Kwebu, thank you very much for joining us on the AM show this morning.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure having you. So let's hit the nail on the head. Let's start from here. What does the Constitution say, first of all, about gazetting electoral results post an election like the one we just saw?
Okay, so first off, the Article 63 stipulates that when the results have been gazetted, that's the presidential, then that is evidence that the person who is named as a winner in the gazette is winner. So I'm trying to avoid the use of the technical term grammar practice. So in simple terms, if you are named as winner in the gazette publication, you are winner. Unless somebody goes to court to challenge it, is able to adduce evidence, and so that gazette will be nullified. And that's to say that the court will hold as otherwise. So until the court has held otherwise, the winner in the gazette is the winner.
There is no remedy moving forward.
The remedy, so it depends on the kind of remedy the person is looking for. If the aggrieved person, in this case, let's say the presidential, Mr. Mahama, if he wants to overturn the gazette publications, he wants to say that he has won and that President Nana Addo did not win, then it means he has to go to court. But if he wants other remedies, there is a court of public opinion, which is also very powerful. Sometimes the case goes to court, the court has held one way, but in public opinion, they have also held the other way. So as a matter of political strategy, if it prefers public opinion, then that one too, they use different, different vehicles, such as the demonstrations and the press conferences they are holding. It's a democracy. We really can't pin him down to one option, can we?
Right. So basically, then in a court of law, my focus then would be in a court of law after gazetting. Just to clarify, Is it possible, after gazetting, for someone who has lost an election to be, designated the winner of that said election?
Yeah, so let's say in this particular one, the president, the sitting president, President Akufo-Addo, has been declared winner. The only way Mr. Mama can be declared winner of the same election is if the court goes, if he goes to court once, and then the court goes into his evidence and everything, and comes to the conclusion that he was cheated out of a victory. Then in that case, yes, under the Constitution, the court can overturn.
So, looking at the different dynamics, because there are the presidential concerns and now there are also the parliamentary concerns. Let's take a look at the Hohoe situation, where, in fact, John Peter Amewu was declared winner of that constituency, the first time the MPP will be taking that seat. But the whole, High Court has actually ruled that, there's been an interim injunction played by Chachu Chikata in that specific matter for 10 days, the likelihood of a rollover for, another period, which could go beyond January the 7th. What are the implications of that injunction?
Good. So, as you rightly stated, so the first one is theoretically, it's possible that it can keep Mr. Amewu out of Parliament till the end of the case. Please, and I'm using the word advisedly, theoretically. As to what will happen practically, we'll have to wait. So, as you rightly stated, this injunction is for 10 days, meaning that at the end of the 10 days, its force would have vanished. Okay, so it will lapse. Now, usually what we do in practice is that just before it elapses, then the lawyer applies for a new one. This time, Mr. Amewu will be served. So let's note that the current one that was granted by the court, Mr. Amewu was not served to come to court to argue for or against it, because there was an urgency. Yes, but the next one, the one that can keep him out of Parliament till the end of the case, it said that he has to be served so that he will be heard, because that's going to be drastic. Because in the case is going to stay in court for, let's say, at least 1.5 years, the effect will be that Mr. Amewu, if it's granted, Mr. Amewu cannot go into Parliament. And so because it's such a drastic, it's going to be such a drastic decision, or otherwise, he has to be served, then he can come in. But even I was making the point that because of the way the case is very, very, this case is going to be very drastic. Even Mr. Amewu will start preparations to go into court even before the other application is filed. So I said elsewhere that we haven't said the last of that case yet. It's going to be a lot of fireworks, because you know that if they can keep Mr. Amewu out of Parliament, then it means that the NDC can have a majority. So naturally, it should be expected that the NDC will not take it lying down at all.
Right. So looking at these dynamics, there is that possibility that John Peter Amewu, the Member of Parliament elect, actually could be prevented from, taking up the position as a Member of Parliament, and this could drag on. Is it likely that this could drag on for, an extensive portion of the 4-year tenure of an MP in this 8th Parliament?
Correct. That is, so I'll give two answers. If we are going by history in terms of precedent, cases that have gone to court, yes, it can drag on. Remember the famous Amu versus Dr. Adeku. That one, they finished just, I think, after the Parliament, when Parliament, the 4 years was over, so practically, Amu couldn't take the seat, right? There's been other cases that were, the court finished well before, but usually this doesn't take less than a year. But the only rider is this. Because this is a very high case, there is also room in the rules for the court to deal with the case expeditiously. So that, yes, it's possible maybe within 3-4 months. Yes, that is to say the court will bring a lot of the time. Of course, based on application by Mr. Amewu, supported by the NPP, how they will demonstrate to them cause that look, case has to be put on the fast track case list, the court list, if I call it so that the judge can devote attention to the case, everything super fast track. Yes, then that one, so in 3-4 months, we can finish.
Right. Now, on the back of our regional reorganization exercise, there was a reconfiguration of some constituencies in some respects. And when it comes to Hohoi, the case being made in putting forward that injunction is that some people were not allowed to vote. I know the matter is in court, in the High Court to be specific, but I want to find out from you, Lawyer Kwebu, these grounds that are being cited historically and, per the law, what is the breakdown? What is your understanding of it? Is it that serious a matter?
That is a very complex matter. Very complex.
Lawyer Kwebu, I think we lost a bit of what you started saying, so if you could just take it again.
Yes, I said it's a very complex matter.
Lawyer Kwebu, the line is not the connection is not so clear now. Unfortunately, it's better now. So if you could take it off the top, from the top again.
Yes, I said it's an extremely complex matter. So let's see if we can break it down this way. The Supreme Court, you see, Mr. Dr. Valentine went to court, among others, to say that the constitutional instrument that put Santo Kufi, Akwafu, and Dodobi in the voter region is unconstitutional because they are supposed to be in OT region. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court came to the conclusion that, they will not declare the CI as unconstitutional, but they ordered the Electoral Commission to go and realign the boundaries. That is, in simple terms, make sure that they take Santo Kufi, Akwafu, Dodobi, and Lepe into OT region. You say, so what we have is that physically they are supposed to be in OT region, but on paper, under CI 95, they were in the voter region. You say. So that realignment that the court ordered was what the EC was trying to adhere to, trying to obey. But they didn't finish. So among others, step one was to create a district, which they have created. And then step two, I'm just summarizing as step two, perhaps the numbers are higher. I'm talking about the critical, the most important one. Then step two was to create a constituency. But to create a constituency, right now, that's at the time we're going to the election, it was not possible from 7th of December to create a constituency, because to create a constituency, you have to present a paper on it to Parliament. It's called constitutional instrument. So you say in the paper that you want to create one district, and then you state what constitutes the one district. That's the boundaries, the towns, and all that.
Right.
But to be able to lay that paper in Parliament, Parliament must be in session, and Parliament must sit for 21 days. So they call it laying. It means that you put it before Parliament for 21 days. Somebody has, when I say somebody, I mean an MP, has the right to torpedo it, has the right to raise comments and all that. So that is the exercise. So if Parliament is not working, if they are not in session, the 21 days cannot count. So that's how come the constituency couldn't be created. You say,
right?
Yeah. So, but the question is that the Supreme Court decision was in June 2020. The question we should be asking is that in July, August, September, October, November, then December, all that time, what was the EC doing? So you see that people complaining that the EC had gone to sleep. It appears they have something to say, because EC has not accounted for that time. July, August, September, October, November, up to 7th
on the back of what you mentioned, Lawyer Kwebu, do you feel the EC failed in that respect? Because from what you're saying, they had ample time. Do you feel that was a failure on the part of the Electoral Commission?
To be able to answer that, I've said that at least hear from them. You see, in life, a lot of the time, when you haven't heard from the other side and you rush to give judgment, sometimes by the time you hear from that other side, then you find out, well, maybe they have a justifiable. So for this one, to kindly interview the issue on it. That's what we did in July, August, September, October, November. Then we can give judgment on that matter.
So moving this matter forward, I want us to go to Techiman South because there's also quite a situation there. But before we do so, just to clarify, I think you touched on this a bit earlier. Is that to say that we could have a situation now that we have 137 apiece for the NDC and the MPP, as the Hohoi umpires goes on, the gazetting and all of that and the injunction, if this overflows into, past January 7, 2020, could that mean that the NDC now could have a majority, so to speak, because the independent candidate, there are certain processes that must be followed before he can join the MPP. So does it mean the NDC could have a majority in Parliament? And would that also mean they would have the opportunity of electing or selecting the Speaker of Parliament? Break it down for us, Lawyer Kwebu.
Yeah, so first answer, the independent candidate cannot join the MPP. What he's going to do is that he can vote with them. But when it comes to the speaker, the speakership, let me call it a speakership, he cannot be counted as part of the MPP in order for them to have a majority. So this is why it implies. It's only when somebody has been nominated for speaker and it comes to the voting, then he can vote for the MPP. But the starting point is that in the standing orders of Parliament, number one, they have to determine who has the majority of the seats. As it stands now, it's 137. That's both NDC and MPP.
Right.
So they don't have majority and who is minority. So I'm sure when they meet, they'll try to sort that out. But when it comes to the voting, yes, Mr. Siama, the independent candidate, says he will vote for them. Yes, so that one, when they nominate, assuming everything stands as it is, if they nominate somebody, Mr. X, let's say from the camp of the NPP, and for now, let's assume that there is no injunction against Mr. Amewu. If they go into voting, that's when Mr. Siama votes for the MPP, they can get 138, and then the NDC has 137. And because the position of the speaker is by simple majority, MPP can win. This is very simple. This is just an interview. We'll see what happens on the ground.
Yes,
so
but...
Then,
okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Number two, then the question of who will stay in Parliament, that's what you asked, right?
Yes.
So now, back to the Amewu matter. As we stated, it's early days yet. First of all, the 10 days have to elapse. That's one. And then two, we'll see how the judge will decide. But at the second phase of the injunction, that is the one that will keep Mr. Amewu out of Parliament till the end of the season. It's not easy at all. It's a very high seat. Let's see what will happen. That one, I don't want to hazard a guess because if we do that, we begin to shift public opinion in one direction by expecting the court decisions to may come and see.
Right. So Lawyer Kwebu, I understand it's a tricky spot for you, but hypothetically, let's assume the injunction, like I said, spills over past January the 7th, okay? And let's not forget that even the president himself is going to be sworn in Parliament. So there are certain things that ought to be done in Parliament itself, its constitution, the constitution of Parliament, the membership, before even the president is sworn in. Now, if the injunction goes past January the 7th, if it is upheld, sustained, it can only mean that the MPP cannot have 137 members of Parliament. It would then imply 136 that they would have, which would give the NDC 137. Is that the case?
That's correct.
Right. So in that instance, wouldn't that mean that whether momentarily or not, the NDC has the majority?
That's correct.
Right. So interesting.
So then they can nominate so if they nominate somebody to be speaker and the vote goes on, they can win.
So then what happens? It's interesting here because what happens if they have the majority, I mean the NDC in this instance, and they put forward a candidate and that candidate receives the nod. After all, it's a majority. So they receive the person receives the nod. And then later on, the court rules that John Peter Amewu actually won the seat and, per the law, he is the substantive member of parliament. What then happens?
Good. But before we come to it, I think we made a slight mistake. If Amewu is out, we mean NDC will have 137, NPP 136. But Mr. Chairman said publicly, let's also go at least with what he said publicly, that he votes for the NPP. So it means in the vote, it will be 137 against 137.
Right.
So it means that it will take something else. And maybe, so it could go either way because let's say if they put up one side puts up a candidate who is seen as a unifier, not very right, but it's well liked, people from the other side can vote for him. So do you see that the arithmetic has become very complex now?
So that would require some dialogue between the two parties.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent.
Let's quickly take a look at the Techiman South, issue now, because that is also being contested. And both parties, in fact, some of the details I've seen peg both parties at the exact same vote. Of course, for now, that is not what the EC has declared. What is your take on the Techiman South issue from the legal angle, and what could, be the consequences of whatever action is taken there?
Okay, so far, we need to hear from the in respect of one, see, the collation. When they finish counting at the constituency center, they have to, and the results are announced. There's what they call the summary sheet. Parliamentary elections, collation summary sheet. Those have to be filled in. I understand the NDC to be saying that those forms were not filled in. And then number two, that the results were not published on the notice board. So at that center, you also have to publish it on the notice board. So far, I've not seen those summary sheet and then the notice board publication. So definitely, we need to hear from the chief on that matter. Because when it comes to the announcement, what is happening now is that the NDC claims it was not done, NPP says it was done. A certain video was circulated and all that. Yes. So granted that the video is true, there are two more steps. Where are those collation sheets? And then finally, where is the publication on the notice board at the collation center? These two. At least so far, I haven't heard there are one side saying that there's evidence of those. So it means that the EC has some questions to answer.
Well, to wrap up this conversation, yes, we're talking about Parliament, and something that has come up forcefully in recent days is that, I call it a demonstration. Roxanne Dafiamekbo, Member of Parliament for South Dine, who is on the NDC side, calls it a walk that, members of Parliament from his side took to the Electoral Commission to submit a petition. Now, what we now know is that about 10 of them have been invited. 10 of them are supposed to have done something legally wrong, which would, maybe spill over into investigations and criminal liability. Now, in this specific instance, we also know that per our Constitution, embarking on such a demonstration, especially when you've informed the police, like the NDC did, the Electoral Commission, like the NDC did, is constitutionally supported. So how do you find this specific issue of these members of the NDC, 10 of them being accosted in this manner? Is it constitutional?
That's why being a lawyer, because the matter has ended up in court, it means that I'm not able to comment further. You see, because of the issues of contempt, and also generally we prefer that we should not I can't stop them. But as a practicing lawyer, it's not ethically. We are not allowed.
Well, Lawyer Kwebu, so my final bit to you before you let go of us, it has to do with the NDC. Now, it appears they are employing some of the legal remedies, like we're seeing in Hohoi with that injunction. They're also contesting the presidential results, among other parliamentary results. The window for doing so is, nearing shutting point. What do you see moving forward? The NDC has suggested it would go to court, but they have not yet done so in the substantive presidential, declaration, among others. What is the way forward? What do you think the NDC can do within the next few days? And at which point do we, say this far and no farther as far as their legal remedies are concerned?
Well, so they have a few more days to the 21 days. The last of the 21 days. They have 21 days from the transaction of the results to go to court. So a few more days. I have heard on other radio stations that they intend to go to court. So we can wish them good luck and that they should look over dot all the I's and cross all, because when a case goes to court, the standards are very high. It is no chance play. So they should go over, you are preparing for an examination. They should go over and make sure that all their points and their evidence are well gathered. And then we will see how it pans out in court.
Right. I know I said that would be my final bit. Just to, chip in a little bit. We saw in that, electoral petition or election petition in 2012 how the courts looked at and how they voted on matters of overvoting, among others. By, margins of 5-4, decisions were taken, and the petition on the MPP side then was not, allowed through on some of these same grounds that the NDC is courting, the courts this time around. What do you foresee in that respect? I know it's a tricky question, but if in the past, I know there's precedent to look up to. If in the past, these were the decisions that were taken, is it possible that this time round there could be anything different?
Great. So is it possible? That was easy for me. I would say yes. Because they will tell you in law, this is for 101.
Lawyer Martin Kwebu, we're losing you. If you could just start again and we wrap up on this point. We're losing you on phone.
Yeah, I said it's possible the outcome will be different because no two cases are the same. No two cases are the same. So it's possible that the FCC can convince the court that they were cheated us, even though in 2012 the MPP couldn't do so. So to that extent, we have to keep our fingers crossed and see how it pans out when we get to there.
Lawyer Martin Kwebu, thank you very much for your time this morning. It's been a learning process. We're grateful that you joined us, sir, and we wish you the best of the day. And that is Martin Kwebu, a lawyer. I guess it's fitting to say when it comes to this electoral petition, the saga continues. But, of course, Elegant Homes helping us bring you this show, the AM show. And we're going to be connecting with Kweku Asante, who is still out there. But the last edition of Newsfile for the year 2020 will be coming your way on Saturday, the 26th of December. So that's right after Christmas. And we draw the curtains on Newsfile for the year. The show this time starts at 8 a.m. rather than the usual 9 o'clock and ends at 1 p.m. on the dot. Do make a date. Yep, do make a date. So we're bringing you more right here on the AM show. Let's go now to the Obra Sport, where there's a supposed peace walk to ask, the NDC to accept the results of the 2020 elections. And we connect there now.
To undertake what has been dubbed as the Ghana Peace Walk. And of course, what this peace walk is about is to impress upon the National Democratic Congress, the NDC and its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, to accept the results of the 2020 elections. If you come around, you can see a lot of inscriptions that have been written on cardboards and about other things. Ghana first, let peace prevail. Ghana first, let peace prevail. So let me speak to some of these protesters first and get a sense of what exactly their reasoning behind this protest are, and also get to see. So let me come to some of them. Okay. So hello, good morning. So what is this protest about? Why are you here this morning to protest?
Oh, we are here for peace. We just want peace to prevail in our country, and that's what we want to do. We want everyone in Ghana to know that we are all one people and we need peace, because without peace there is nothing that we can do. But peace in our country.
But currently there is peace. Is there no peace?
No, we don't think there is peace.
And who do you think is contributing to the no peace?
No, we are just doing the protest. Wherever that the violence and any other thing is coming from, we just want peace in the country. So we are just doing this to reach out to whoever who is behind all of this whole thing, just to make peace to prevail. That's why we are all here.
What is your name?
I'm Jennifer. I'm from Kumasi, but I work over here. Yes, please.
So let me speak to this lady here who's also joined the protest. Please, what's your name?
I'm Ejiwa.
Ejiwa, do you lie in Accra?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the sister here tells me that this protest is for peace. You said Ghana first, let peace prevail. Ghana has decided, respect it. People have the right to protest against the election results. Right?
My brother, we are all in this country, and then we saw all the media houses, the outcome of the results. So what we want to tell our brothers in the other side and sisters in the other side is that they should just respect the verdict of the Electoral Commission, and then we can move on as one country, as one Ghana. Then
Right. So a lot of cardboards here, a lot of these inscriptions that have been, Ghana has decided, respect it. Elections 2020 was peaceful. Ghana first. And now other inscriptions here trying to urge supporters of the National Democratic Congress and its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, to accept the outcome of the election. Now, of course, listeners and viewers may recall that on the 9th of December, when the Electoral Commissioner, Madam Jill Mensah, declared President Akufo-Addo as winner, former President John Dramani Mahama, who was the presidential candidate of the NDC, held a news conference at the headquarters of the NDC and said that the result of the election was fictitious and the whole process was flawed. For that reason, he was unwilling to accept the result of the election that declared incumbent President Akufo-Addo as the president-elect. And they have since that mounted a series of protests nationwide, protesting the outcome of this election. But of course, democracy is very beautiful. So there are people here protesting the NDC's right to protest. That's what makes it beautiful. Let me speak to more of the people and get a sense of what exactly is going on here. But of course, I've seen a number of police vehicles here at the Brasport Kwame Nkrumah Circle. The demonstration is yet to start. It's not a demonstration, it's actually a walk. It is yet to start. But let me speak to some of the protesters and get an idea what brought them here to come and protest. Hello, boss. Yeah, so please, what made you join this walk, madam? Madam, then who joined the walk? Okay, let me speak to some other people. Hello. Can we speak to you, Enjoy? Right. Let me speak to this. Let me speak to this lady. Hello, madam. Pacho, then I do over her.
The bed, the so I went to Yaba for peace walking in Tianutia that they are say. Maybe so my peace will have it now. There be peace in here say. Oh, now who they are cost one? They are cost on a peace.
So, a lot of inscriptions, some of them we cannot show you on camera for obvious reasons, but some of these people shouting, we want peace, trying to make a point to say that they want the NDC and its leader to accept the outcome of the 2020 elections. Hello, madam, can we speak to you on Joy News, please? All right, some of these protesters are shying away from the cameras, but the antecedent of this story is very clear. The NDC and its presidential candidate, John Dramani Mahama, making it clear that they are not accepting the outcome of this election. We are yet to see if they will head to court. And yesterday we brought you a story that showed that the NDC, as of right now, has only 6 days per the constitutional dictate to be able to head to the court and challenge the outcome of the results. We do not have an indication yet if they will be doing so. The NDC, like I said earlier, have also been holding a series of street protests. Last 2 days we saw the minority caucus in Parliament led by their leader, Haruna Idris to march to the Electoral Commission to deliver a petition on the 13-man South election, which has become a source of dispute. And so more and more people are coming in. I've seen some vehicles coming to drop more of these protesters. We are here to see when this protest will start and how this protest will pan out. But so far, peaceful people around showing their inscriptions and trying to let the people know that they want peace in their country and they want the verdict of the people, as they put it, decided. Hello, can I speak to any of you, please? Can I speak to you? We are live on TV. We are live on TV. Can we speak to any of you? So, what brought you here today?
Yo, mechia metie fo nyina ena no pay. De enta ye hyiemu wa ha sei no. Ye pegana peace enti na ye nyina ye hyiemu wa ha no pay. Enema bi e koso ye to aba ne wie no enye magana because ye nyina ye go omanim. Seba kridi sese ya ye ni ba bia ye befa. Ghana ni ye kura ye wom. Enti ye de anopa ye hyiemu wa ha peace enti ne ye hyiemu wa ha sei. Yesre ndisifo say yesre omo peace mna oban nim na ye nyina ye oman ba sa omo so omo do oman ne paade a ene yesre omo ne asomdue ene peace e wo oman nim because ye omo ma ene omo wo faase ene omo nuanam omo yerenam ye nyina ye gu oman nim enti niam na omo ye no emfata omo ma ye nyina ya nya baako na ye nyina ye ntimi enhwe so na oman no ye nyina ye ntimi mu oman no na enko nanim enu nti na ena no pe ya be hyiemu ha se ye po mo chew omoma peace mra oman nim omoma asomdue mra oman nim ye di nyankopon di sre wo mo de ekoso no oman ne ye mpe eti so omo do oman ne de a ene ye sre omo ne asomdue ye sre omo ne asomdue ye damase
what you friend saying
your friend Stella Boama.
So Stella has spoken quite at length, making the point over and over again that the National Democratic Congress and its leader must respect the verdict of the people. That is how they put it. And you can see a lot of the T-shirts that they are wearing. They have said that we have voted, respect our decision. And so the street protest, this walk is going to take part of Accra. I'm here to see some of the organizers around to talk to them and see and have an idea how they are going to go about all this so far. But like I told you, there's a police vehicle right in front of me. I've seen another police vehicle just ahead of us trying to protect these people and trying to safeguard them. Of course, when I get Mr. Ofori, one of the police leaders, I'm going to put this question to them. And yesterday, we had an idea that the Ghana Police Service has secured an injunction against the National Democratic Congress for embarking on walks, protests, demonstrations, anything of the sort for 20 days. And so you probably want to know under what basis are these people also protesting or holding this walk. And so these are questions when I get the police hierarchy who will be here. I'll put some of them to them. I'll put some of these questions to them. But the protesters are here in their numbers, and we need to speak to more of these protesters and get an inkling of what they want to be doing. Hello. Pacho, we are live on Joy News. Joy News. Yes. So Muslim Michelle placard, they all say Ghana is our only home, NDC. NDC for my day.
Ne patron say Ghana ye hear peace e wo Ghana. Enti e ba say ne NDC for ne kasa say omunya abotre. Say de akwaso bia na ya abotre. E ya sa de omu ye ne be mama na ye den abo. E sa so a ye nyina e ha ye nyina. Enti e peace work e na ye.
I say you talk about now say obi see your problem. Say our voice here on the problem.
Best thing also any say I was saw the court. It didn't say and now no more ye press conference yes na ha ye nyina. From Jemima.
So Jemima. So this person says it's from the Ghana Freedom Party, right?
Yeah.
And so you are joining this protest together with your party?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is leading you to come and join this protest?
Good morning. Actually, we went to the polls, and by and large, we believe that one person will win. So after the polls, we have accepted the verdict. So we are also expecting former President John Dramani Mahama to accept the verdict. The people voted and voted massively for the MPP. and the EC has already declared the election. So we don't know. In fact, we don't see the reason why they are going around doing all sorts of unaccepted and unlawful behavior. Please, we have only one Ghana, and for me, being my flag bearer being Ekwiadonko, we are coming out, and in fact, we are joining this campaign. We are joining this campaign for peace, and we expect President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC to also accept the verdict. Thank you.
So do you expect that Madam Ekwiadonko herself will be?
Sure, I'm expecting Madam Ekwiadonko because about thousands of our supporters are here. So far as the supporters are here, we also will be expecting Madam Ekwiadonko. And even without her presence, I think we are far enough to hit the streets.
So this protest is being led by a coalition of some of the political parties that contested in the 2020 general elections. And you just hear this guy says he's a supporter of the Ghana Union movement led by Madam Ekwiadonko. You can see I can just see that the GCPP vehicle is also around. And GCPP is part of the coalition of political parties who are protesting. And so we'll be following these protesters to have an idea where they'll be going and what they'll be doing across Accra today as they are marching and calling on the NDC to accept the verdict of the 2020 election. And so coming to you live from the brass podium, the supporters thronging here in their numbers and ready to go on the streets of Accra and march. Benjamin.
Dave, thank you very much. Awesome work you're doing out there. Stay safe as well. Don't you forget, the AM show is brought to you by Elegant Homes. Christmas is practically just around the corner. Let's get in the mood, shall we? Why not? It's been quite a year. And, after all the strains, the stress, COVID-19, the elections, the tension, everything, we need to wind down. We thank God for Christmas. Anyway, thank you for your time with us, but don't you go anywhere because at this point in time, we'd love to hear from you. How are you going to celebrate your Bronya? Are you going out of town? What is the plan? What exactly are you doing this Christmas? And how prepared are you for it? Do share with us by calling that number 0302-211-691 extension 2. I'll take it again, 0302-211-691 extension 2. What do you have on your mind? What would you like to share with us, the Joy News crew, the multimedia crew? How prepared are you for Christmas? What are you going to be engaging in? If you have children, what are you doing for the children? Are you going to be preparing some of those noodles for them? What are you going to be doing at home? What are some of the activities? I suppose for many of you on the back of COVID-19, you might not be spending too much time outside. So a lot of indoor activities, I guess. What are you going to be doing? Call 0302-211-691 extension 2. We have Joseph from Pandai who is sharing with us his Christmas story. Joseph, good morning. Welcome on the AM show.
Good morning, please.
Great. So what have you prepared to do this Christmas? What is the plan for you?
Yeah, I just want to prepare to thank God that He has been able to take care of me to now, and I'm hoping that I'll go with my friends out to celebrate as usual because it's not an easy thing to be alive to see another New Year again.
True. Very true. But do you have any New Year resolutions, for example?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Maybe you can share some of them with us, not too early. Joe, are you still on the line? Yes.
Yes, I'm online. So right. I'm hoping that at the end of the New Year, at least what I'm foreseeing or what I'm targeting for myself, I should be able to get it so that I can say that God, in one way or the other, has blessed me bluntly.
Well, thank you very much, Joe, for joining us all the way from Pandai. That's a very interesting one. And mind you, you can share your resolutions as well. I have mine, and maybe at some point I'll be sharing mine with you as well. But there's also Eric from Adenta. Don't you forget the number 0302-211-691 extension 2. Eric, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. I'm fine. You?
By God's grace, I'm very well. What do you have planned for this Christmas?
Well, just, normal levels.
Okay, so when you say normal levels, what do you mean?
Okay, maybe going out with friends and, get some drinks and stuff.
I see.
Yeah, fufu with some good soup and stuff.
Not set it. I set it nice one. Okay.
Probably
I know that, but please, as you chill, don't freeze. And don't forget, COVID-19 is still out there. Eric, thank you for joining us. Jonah from Saboba actually joins us over the phone lines as well. I like the fact that we're connecting with, our brothers and sisters in the Northern Belt. Jonah, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
It's good to have you. Now, what have you planned for this Christmas?
I am planning to celebrate it with my sisters happily.
With whom?
With my sisters.
With your sisters? How many of them do you have?
2.
2 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Which our mother and our father have lost.
Wow.
Lost them. So we are praying that you people will give us prayers so that we also live long.
Right. I'm sure there are going to be some, there's going to be some partying, some shinkafa or tuo shinkafa parties. Am I correct? Aha. Right. So, Esetia, do share some with us, okay? Jonah from Saboba, thank you for connecting. Emmanuel connects with us from East Legon. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Akakpo. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Hope you are too.
I'm also doing well.
Great. Now, what do you have, planned for Christmas? It's just tomorrow. I mean, we're speaking of it as though it were days away. It's just tomorrow. What is the plan?
Yeah.
What have you done so far ahead of Christmas?
Okay, so I have a foundation in Global Street Foundation. We will be distributing to the less privileged on the street, to feed them and assist them and motivate them too for the unforeseen future that we have.
Wow. Wow. That is such a great gesture.
Yeah.
Usually we leave out, the street urchins and those who are on the streets and all of that. So kudos to you, Emmanuel, for thinking of them. God bless you. But for your own self, for your family, what's the plan?
Unfortunately, they are in the Brunei region.
Right.
And I'm here in Accra, so I'll be spending it by alone. Even though I have my friends, but we give them a call, to wish them a Merry Christmas and stay in touch.
Right. Ima, thank you for joining us. Samuel is from Kintampo. Sam, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you. Now, what is your plan? What are you anticipating ahead of tomorrow, Christmas Day?
Actually, I don't normally celebrate festive seasons because of my religious background, but probably I normally go out to have fun with friends. But this year I was planning to go for Rapaholic, but I have a shadows in Kintampo, so I have to come around and do. But although I'm gonna be in the house, have a lot of fun in the house, and I think that is that.
So that's the plan. So you're a big, SAC fan. Is that it?
Yeah.
So you're a big SAC fan. You're saying you were planning to be
Yeah. Very big SAC fan.
Can you give us a line from any of his songs?
Okay. Oba hima misima. Isha wanajibi misha wenjina. Wanho fena chishime. Yeah, mentina. Now Simba we see we are dejima. I think we have to continue.
I know we have to leave it there. But Sam from Kintampo, you're dope, Wate. Thank you for connecting with us. Cornelius is reaching out from Laura. Cornelius, a very good morning to you. Okay, so we're trying to connect with Cornelius all the way from Laura, who will also be sharing with us his plan for Christmas. You know what? I'll seize this time to tell you about mine. And mine is going to be a bit quiet. I'll tell you more about mine. But we have another call on the line. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I didn't quite catch your name. Who's on the line?
Optimistic, he said that he has.
Right. So what is your plan for this Christmas? Hello? Did we lose that caller? Wow. We've lost that caller, unfortunately. But like I was sharing with you, mine is going to be a bit on the quiet. It's been quite an eventful year, quite an active year for me, 2020. Barring everything, I mean, COVID-19 and everything, it's been a very, rough one. Not rough per se, but it's been tough. It's been active. And so I want to wind down this Christmas and New Year. Our last caller, Dora from Takwa. Dora, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we have a lady caller. Fantastic. How are you, Dora?
I'm fine, dear.
Great to hear from you. Now, tell me, what have you planned ahead of Bronya?
Oh, as I was talking to you now, I'm done preparing. I'm going to board a car to Accra for Rapaholic.
Wow. Looks like Rapaholic is trending. In the pop, eh? So from Takwa, you're coming through to Accra for Rapaholic?
Yeah.
Okay. So apart from that, I mean, what are you going to be doing with family, with friends?
From Rapaholic, I'll come back to Takwa to enjoy with the family too here. Takwa is jamming for the Christmas. So from Rapaholic, I'm coming down to Takwa to end the Christmas year and the New Year too.
Dora, you want to chill in Accra and chill in Takwa as well? Hey.
Yeah, 3 in 1.
All right. Thank you very much for connecting with us.
And we've been observing it at the same time we chill.
Right. So thank you, Dora, and everyone who took the time to call into the program this morning. We greatly appreciate you, and we wish you a happy, Christmas. Now, on Showbiz this morning, we're still in the mood, and in the next segment today, Cardi will interact with High Life act Mr. Quaver, whose latest single seeks to address challenges around interfaith marriages. I am personally very interested in this one because, Charlie, I can't tell you how many friends have told me stories about how they felt about this person from another religion, and because of that, coming together couldn't happen. Well, I'm going to be listening, watching keenly. I pray you do so too. That's up next on the AM show. Don't you forget, all of this brought to you by Elegant Homes. Do stay with us.